Warning, this podcast was produced by two men who still think that swearing is both big and clever. As a result, it contains quite a lot of it. Therefore, this podcast is not suitable for children, unless they're really fucking cool children. Yes, people. Dave Fensom here with another episode of Pop Collaborate and Listen. How are you doing, collaborators? Do you like that, collaborators? I've come up with that. I'm going to call you collaborators. Yeah, we've got a name now. Right, yeah, I don't know. How are you guys doing, man? Fucking been anywhere nice? It's fucking nuts, isn't it, man? Found myself really looking forward to my trip to Lidl yesterday. That's how desperate things are getting, man. I've actually been working more than I normally do. I've had to take up I'm doing some customer service work, man. It's the first 9-to-5 job I've had in many, many years, and it's very, very strange, man. It's a strange situation, but yeah, it's all right, man. Days go pretty quick. I'm having a good enough time. Shout out to my man, Si. Yeah, I don't know, man. This week we've got we recorded this one via Skype, via Zoom, actually, I think it was. And it's obviously there's going to be some difference in the sound quality. Hope it doesn't stand out too badly. We're doing the best we can in the circumstances, as people love to tell you at the moment. We had a good conversation about this album. It's an album neither of us particularly familiar with. I think this is a solid episode, so I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you guys enjoyed the quiz episode last week, and there may be another one of those coming up soon. I did another quiz last Friday. I think for ongoing future, it's quite likely there's going to be a quiz every Friday at 8 o'clock, unless life gets in the way. So yeah, the first one we did was on pop music. That was last week's podcast. Just did one on alternative music this Friday just gone. We had a few technical issues, but I think 18 teams completed the whole thing, so we had fun, I think. Find us on the PCL podcast Facebook Live. Might be moving it over to Twitch at some point. Still haven't decided. Just working out how it all goes. Anyway, I've been waffling for way too long now. Hope you guys enjoy this episode on Wish by The Cure. Yes, people. It's another episode of Pop Collaborate. Listen, I am, as always, Dave Fensom, and here with me, but not actually with me, is my good friend, Mr. Krista Greer.
All right, everybody.
Yes, we are recording this in a virtual setting. Normally, we get together and we record it in the same room in my house, but today we are separated by a matter of a few miles, but it seems like so much more, doesn't it, Krista?
It does. It seems like an entire world between us, mate.
We're locked in. It's the coronavirus lockdown. If you're listening to this in 2022 and the world hasn't ended, yes, remember that shit happened. Yeah. Crazy, right?
I know, it's mad. This is what everyone seems to be doing, is recording stuff via an online program, and so it's probably going to sound a little bit weird, but that's what we have to do.
Exactly. And of course we have been putting out our own online content via our incredibly shambolic Pop Collaborate and Listen quizzes.
Yes, indeed. We've done 2 sort of 90s music quizzes so far, and yeah, they've been very good fun. Dave has been presenter.
I've been presenting it, and I've been trying to work out technology which I do not understand. Well, yes. Demonstrating why Krista does all of the technical stuff on our podcast.
Quite. Now, it's been good fun. Thank you to everyone who has joined in with those as well. If you have missed them, you should still be able to kind of access them. We're going to try and put audio files up of the quizzes if you want to play them and play along by yourselves as well.
But yes, we have reconvened after a couple of weeks off to try and record another podcast proper. How have you been in isolation, Mr. Greer? Are you doing all right?
I'm loving it, mate. It's fucking brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. In case people don't know, I run a pub, and so that's been shut since the 20th of March, and we don't know what's going on yet. Obviously, there's no time scale of when this is going to be over, and I'm literally just sitting at home watching telly. It's fucking brilliant. Love it.
That's because you're what we would describe as financially solvent, Krista Greer.
Yes, this is exactly true. I've got some savings. I'm fine.
Well, I took a big risk and ploughed all my savings into starting a new company this year, Krista.
Good man. How's that going for you?
Well, turns out I fall into a massive hole where I get absolutely nothing. So I've taken a minimum wage customer service job. Hooray!
Yep.
So I'm not sitting on my arse and watching telly. I'm helping people get their issues with a certain product in perspective.
Right. Yeah. True. And also, in terms of your financial year, we've just found out that the Edinburgh Festival's been cancelled. So that's really fun.
I had 54 paid gigs booked in Brighton Fringe, so that fucks me worse. But fuck it, we got there's more important things as health and
this podcast.
Yeah, this podcast. I've got Waffles the dog asleep on my foot at the minute. He's actually sitting with me because you're not in the house. He always sits with Krista.
Indeed, he can sense I'm close. I'm sure
he can. I think he can hear you.
Good. Right, let's get into this week.
What's this week's album, Mr. Krista Greer?
Right, this week we are talking about The Cure's album, Wish, which was out in April of 1992 and went to number 1 for 1 week.
So where were you with the Cure? I think we talked about this before. I think you were saying that your mum was a fan of the Cure.
Exactly, but the Cure is one of their album 17 Seconds, which was their kind of second album, but their first one that really got them noticed and gave them the Cure sound. That was one of the albums that I remember, even obviously vaguely, but being in my house when I was growing up. So in like 1980, when I was 5, that was being played a load in my house. So I was aware of it then. I must admit, as the 80s went on, I didn't follow them, as a fan or anything like that. I was aware of the singles, the ones that, the Love Cats and Close to Me or whatever. Whenever they got to the top 20 and I would see them on Top of the Pops, I'd be like, oh yeah, that's pretty cool. But I didn't stick with him, and I've never been a Cure fan, like in the way that some people are. What about yourself?
Well, even less connected, I would say, because there was no chance of the Cure being music that my mum and dad would listen to. That's not my mum and dad aren't really big music fans anyway, so it's not the kind of thing that would have ever been on their radar at all. A bit too weird. And so I didn't really. I was kind of vaguely aware of their big singles, but I was never really interested in them. It didn't seem like something that was for me. And then when I got to sixth form college, I think there was a bit of delineation between who the goths were, and there was a bit of like, maybe I didn't give it a chance or anything along those lines. So I was, as the years have gone by, I've learned to appreciate the big Cure songs, and I've always quite liked Robert Smith in an interview. Thought he was a bit of a dude. But I've never. Do you know what? I think I listened to Disintegration a few years ago because I was like, I've got to get into.
Got to try
the Cure and give them more of a chance, and I enjoyed it enough, but I've never been. I kind of missed my window to be the big Cure fan.
I think that's probably true. I think if you're not getting into them when you're probably early teens, then there's it's not going to cement itself with you in the way that's the way it needs to be. And while I was, like I'm saying, I was aware of the singles, the big ones, whatever, Lullaby, Love Song, etc. I can't say that I particularly loved them because in my head the Cure that I knew was the stuff off 17 Seconds. It's basically, the stuff that sounds like a forest, that really spooky, menacing. I love that sound. And so whenever they were doing their more 80s chart stuff that I would hear, I was like, nah, can't be arsed. Didn't give it a go. And so I've never listened to a Cure album apart from 17 Seconds.
Sure. And so have you ever heard this album?
Never had, no. Going through it, I remembered the singles to varying extents, but never ever checked the album out before, no. Which is understandable because this is 1992 and I'm pretty set in my ways in as much as I'm now looking at a load of grunge stuff. I'm looking at some very early sort of Manchester indie stuff, but a band that is already big and in place, it comes through and I'm not particularly interested.
Yeah, and I mean there was a whole other thing for me. There was a girl at sixth form college that I fancied that ended up kind of getting off with a guy that really liked the Cure, and I think I held that against them in some way.
That will do it.
It will do it, man. It will do it.
In terms of the background of this album, this is their 9th studio album. So they're they're far into the career, and they're off the back of Disintegration, which you mentioned, which was their 1989 album, which was massive, especially in the States. It was a really big one, and they did a massive tour with it. It really broke them in a bigger way. Throughout the 80s, especially the end of the 80s, they were getting bigger and bigger, definitely in the States, but Disintegration really kicked them into sort of high gear over there.
Sure.
But this is their first album without Lol Tolhurst, who had been with the band since 1973, but he got chucked out after the Disintegration tour because of his alcoholism, and he just got impossible to manage, really. And so this is a slightly different band for the first time. I mean, it's changed throughout the years, but they'd been kind of a set lineup for a little while, and this is now just going a little bit different.
Right.
But it's still most of what you would consider a classic Cure lineup. This one,
fair play. Well, look, should we have a start with the album cover?
The album cover, right? Yes. So I don't remember this album cover at all.
I mean, I remember seeing it on T-shirts at sixth form college.
Do you? Right. Yeah. It's very Cure.
I mean, it is. Yeah. It's pretty enough. It's I don't love it. I don't hate it.
No, it's I don't want to put stuff down without really being into it, but it looks like it's trying a bit hard to be weird to me.
I don't know if I go with that. I think that I think it's a take fun image, but it's it doesn't blow me away. I don't think it's a classic album cover by any take. No, it's quite indistinct. It doesn't stand out to me. I can definitely imagine it on T-shirts. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I saw it on a million T-shirts, but it doesn't. Right. I don't think it has like kind of the iconography of a good album cover.
Nah. I suppose this to me looks like a sixth form goth guy has drawn it on his.
It's a bit kind of Tim Burton-y, kind of of Tim Burton's maths book, isn't it? Really?
Yeah, there you go. That's a lovely way to put it. That's exactly what it is, I reckon. Yes.
All right. Well, okay. So we're not blown away by that, but what should we do then? Should we crack into the first track?
Right. Yeah. Track number 1 on the album, and it's called "Open."
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the first thing that I noticed in this is that they're opening with a nearly 7-minute song.
Yeah.
Which is brave.
Very brave, yeah. I think, we've often got a criticism of an overly long song. Okay, but we've got, kind of got these kind of...
I'm liking this so far, though.
Kind of dissonant, kind of very post-rocky kind of sound. That...
Yeah, and yes, when this guitar comes in, this kind of more droney guitar, I really like that sound.
Yeah, I mean, look, this is musically completely up my alley, that kind of very, very dissonant guitar, these kind of big kind of crashes going on, that wall of noise thing that comes through, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like dirty guitars, it's really dark and moody, and it's a little bit off kilter.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, it sounds almost shoegazy, but it's a bit more scary than that.
Yeah, it's a little bit more balls to it, and that's there is like exactly a pervasive air of menace that kind of runs underneath it.
Yeah. This is. Oh, and there you go. There's Robert Smith.
Where are you on Robert Smith's voice?
I understand completely that it's always going to be, oh fucking hell, that's Robert Smith. But for some reason, I really like it sometimes, but sometimes it does jar with me. I don't understand why it's both ways, because it's the same thing in every fucking song.
It's not though. There's certain affectations and certain things. I agree with that completely. I understand completely where you're coming from. There are some times that Robert Smith's voice jars me. This song is not one of them. I think it sounds really fucking good.
No, I think this works really well.
I mean, there's some quality teenage poetry lyrics in this.
Well, there's throughout this album, there's some lyrics I'm like, oh, this maybe shouldn't have been
put in. For the most part, I'll let him off though.
For the most part, I will. Yes.
Obviously, this is. I wouldn't describe this as a pop song. It's a 7-minute kind of wall and noisy kind of angsty. I mean, basically the song it's about him being the goth at the party, really, isn't it? It's about it feels kind of like industry parties, and people want to introduce him to people. Oh yeah, you need to know this guy, and he's just there going, I fucking hate all you people. Who are you? Get your hands off me.
Yeah, exactly. It is. Imagine this is a lot to do with the massive tour they did from 89, 1991 with the Disintegration tour, where he was having just to schmooze a load of American record company people and do meet and greets with the fans. But you're absolutely right. This is the sound of someone who's just fed the fuck up with this nonsense, and he's he's kicking back a little bit, but just having a good fucking whinge about having to do this nonsense.
I mean, it's quite a champagne goth problem, really, isn't it?
Oh, sure.
But it's a great song,
and it could be also. Oh, it's a great song. It could be also a bit of a commentary about Lol Tolhurst's alcoholism as well, because there's a lot of stuff about being drunk and having to be drunk at this. He's saying that in order to get through this shit, he has to be a bit pissed or on something. And so it could be a bit of a commentary on, well, this is what happened to my mate Lol. Who knows? But there's some lines in there that I think are very evocative about being drunk. There's one, I'm back on my back with the lights and the lies in my eyes, and the colour and the music's too loud, and my head's all the wrong size.
Nice.
Now that is a nice description of just being too far, and you're like, I just need my bed.
Yep.
I need this to stop. You know, it's that bit of a in a club where you go, right, it's time for the Irish goodbye.
Yep.
Just fuck off. Yeah. No, this is a really good song.
Yeah, I love this, man. Yeah, straight away into this. I mean, for me, it doesn't feel too long either. Justifies its length.
I was fine with it.
Absolutely. Oh, well, that's a good start then.
Yeah, definitely. And sonically, this is kind of what I want from a Cure song, because it does remind me of the stuff that I like from the very early days. I was kind of scared that I was going to be getting a more either commercial or just bland Cure by this point.
Well,
in their career.
I mean, obviously, I've always been a big fan of bands like Mogwai and, kind of Russian Circles, Explosions in the Sky, ISIS, all of that kind of sound.
Right, yeah.
I love all of that shit. Some of my favourite music to ever see live as well. And I was listening to this going, oh, wow, man, the roots of that are all on display here.
Definitely, you can hear all of those things, can't you?
Of course you can, yeah, of course you can.
Yeah.
All right.
And, they have to give it to The Cure. They have inspired loads of bands.
Course.
I'm sure people like you've just said, Mogwai and that sort of thing, you're definitely going to say, they are going to say, oh yeah, big fans of the band, or, used to listen to them back in the youth and wanted to do some of their sonic stuff. But they've also inspired people, Blink 182. For some reason, there's a load of... No, but there's a load of kind of American bands who were big in the late 90s, 2000s, who almost cite this album, this and Disintegration, as some of the stuff that got them into wanting to be in a band.
That's the thing, though. If you look at the Cure, there's so much to buy into, isn't there? Because there's visual aesthetics, there are music, the whole package is there, isn't it? Really, it's
you can buy into the whole thing.
Bob Smith was an iconic fucking dude. I mean, less so since he started looking like Barbara Cartland, but.
I do find it funny because he's like 60 now, and he still has to. He can't not be Robert Smith of The Cure whenever you see him. He has to do the hair and he has to do the makeup. If he just went on with a nice, neat cut and a polo neck, you wouldn't have a fucking clue who he was.
I always say this about, not the superstar DJs, right, from the 90s, because, they probably made enough money they could retire on that money, right? But imagine you are, jobbing DJ, right? You earn a couple of grand a month from DJing, right?
Sure.
So it'll pay your bills, it'll do your thing, right? And when you're in your 20s, that's the best thing in the world, right? Because I'm at a club every weekend. Imagine when you're our age, you're like, oh fuck, I've got to go to a club again. I know. Can you imagine?
Absolutely
it's like,
true.
What else can I do?
Yeah, totally. Oh, I'm now 54. I've got to go and play whatever's in the charts to these 19-year-olds.
Exactly.
Otherwise, my mortgage is fucked. Yeah. I know.
Fuck that shit.
Dear.
Anyway, right, should we listen to track 2?
Right, track number 2 is called High.
Hi.
Right, and this was the first single released off the album. It got to number 8 in March of 1992.
Yeah. I mean, I see why it's a single choice. It's very kind of jangly indie pop kind of thing.
Oh, exactly. It's the accessible side of the Cure.
And this reminds...
That bass line, though, very good.
Yeah, this reminds me very much of another one of their singles. I couldn't put my finger on it when I was listening to it.
All right,
A better one.
I mean, I guess it sounds like stuff like The Caterpillar.
Yeah.
Or Love Song. It is that very chart-friendly, but... Oh yeah, that's the Cure. This one, I kind of remember this from the time. I definitely don't remember it well. From 1992.
No, I don't remember this one very much.
But this one doesn't do too much for me. It's a bit too twee lyrically, definitely. And it's also a bit too stereotype Robert Smith delivery. It almost sounds like he's just doing it for affectation at this point. On this
this felt quite generic to me. It certainly didn't grab me in the way that the first song did.
No, absolutely not. And lyrically, like you were saying about sixth form lyrics, there are some ones on here.
I wonder if you've got there's one that particularly kind of stuck in my craw a little bit.
Right, give it to me and I'll tell you if I've got the same
When
one.
I See You, Kitten as a Cat.
Exactly the same.
Fucking rubbish.
Yeah, as smitten as that, I can't get that small. Fuck you, man.
That's an unforgivable lyric.
But it's the sort of thing that if you were 17, you'd go, oh, that's a great, that's wicked. I love The Cure. If you're a Cure fan at 17, obviously, you have to be, at least far a bit down that road. But I can see them loving that, lapping it up.
Yeah, for me, this one is on the wrong side of Poppy. Just doesn't really do a huge amount for me. I don't hate it. I suspect as an album track, I could grow to be perfectly fine with this.
I agree with that, and I must admit, because we've had a couple of weeks break, I've listened to this album more than most of the ones that we do.
Yeah, me too.
I've listened to this quite a lot of times, and when this one comes on, I'm like, this is all right. Musically, it's okay, but it's absolute wallpaper. Realistically, I'm not ever going to go, oh yeah, fucking high. That's a great tune.
I understand why it's a single, but I think it's one of the lesser tracks on this record.
Yes, I would be totally fine with not hearing this one again. But like you said, yeah, I get it. It works for that. Yeah, I must admit that Robert Smith has never spoken to me as, someone in the way that he speaks to a lot of other people. He's never been lyrically someone I'm like, that is deep. That is pretty fucking cool. Mm-hmm. So I'm totally ambivalent to this, apart from the bit where it gets too bad and too cloying for me. If the tune had been much better, I would forgive it, but it's not. For me.
No, I don't think it's a great one. Like I say, reasonable album track, but nothing more than that.
And really, the video for this as well. It's the first single back, and the video was really amateur.
Oh, really?
The band are up in the air on clouds and on kites because it's called High. It's just a bit nothing. Robert Smith does look very, very young, though, as you can imagine.
Yeah.
This is 30 years ago.
Fair fucks, man. Fair fucks.
But I must admit, right, I can't see him in this time period where he's still doing the kind of the cardigans with the sleeves over the hands and the Edward Scissorhand hair, all that shit, without thinking of the Mary Whitehouse Experience version that they did of him.
It was very funny.
They took the piss. It's brilliantly done, but that's kind of it's become my default vision of Robert Smith now.
Can you imagine Robert Smith diving, just on the second highest board at the swimming baths, just going and doing a dive?
No, I can't. I don't know why that's popping.
That's a good image, isn't it?
I mean, there's many things I can't really imagine him doing. I can't imagine him doing pottery, for example.
I can imagine him doing pottery and it coming out and being like some weird fucking Tim Burton sculpture.
Oh, I
can imagine him doing anything artistic. I find it very difficult to imagine him cashing a check.
True. Doing his shoppy down Aldi.
Yeah, exactly. Like unblocking a toilet.
Right. Okay. The mundane Robert Smith activities.
Exactly.
The only other thing I've got on this is that I was looking through, what cover versions and if anybody sampled any of these big singles and stuff. And I'm going to put one cover version of each single into the ongoing, or rather into our playlist for this episode. Nice. And this one, the Wedding Present, did a cover version of this, and it's actually pretty decent.
Fair enough.
If you like The Wedding Present, because it's sped up like The Wedding Present would be, and it's a lot more sort of harder guitars, But it works really well, actually. I think it's a nice one. So I'm going to stick that into the playlist.
Fair dues. I would have thought Covering the Queue would have been a bit on the nose for the wedding present.
No, they're different enough. Definitely. They're still miserable, dar bastards, but the wedding present are more angry rather than morose.
Yeah, fair dues. All right, well, let's listen to track number 3 now.
Okay, track number 3 is called Apart.
So, we've got some drama here, haven't we? We've got this synth coming in. And that's kind of just washed all over me like a nice fucking warm wave. I absolutely love that as it goes in.
Yeah, it's a very somber beginning. This bass riff is wicked, though.
You get these mournful kind of keyboards strains that come in here. Yeah. I'm such a fucking goth. I absolutely love this.
Right, yeah, I mean, it was very somber. It's another long song. It's a minute 20 before any vocals come in.
Yeah.
But musically, this is interesting. I like what they're doing here. Again, this is the sort of sound I want from The Cure.
Yeah, it's like a real kind of head nodder, isn't it? Absolutely that.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. And there's Robert Smith.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, look, I love pretty much everything about this song. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I was just bought into this from the moment it started till the end. I was like, oh yeah, this is absolutely a bit of me. 6.5 minutes. It is a little bit long. In the interest of fairness, I will say it is a little bit long. But yeah, this one had my attention all the way through it. I just thought it was really fucking. I really liked the kind of the broken love song in it. I know they don't really write much else apart from that, but
well, definitely on this album, there's a lot of that on this album. It seems to me to be about two people in a relationship that's kind of in its final throes.
Yeah.
And they don't want to admit that it's on the way out. They're trying to put a brave face on it at points, but it's not going to be getting any better. And so it's like it's the kind of misery at the end where you go, oh, I wish this was just done.
Yeah, the painful death knell, because you're like, because you know where it's going, and you've got to get through that painful healing thing. And you're like, I can't even start doing this until this just fucks off. Yeah.
No, I kind of like that bit of it. There is one bit, again, with the sound of this song, I like all the instrumentation. I like how it goes on. It's beautifully done. There's one bit, though, in the vocals that I don't like. I don't like, as it goes through, that there's the whispered vocals underneath the main ones doing exactly the same words.
I really liked that.
Oh, that annoyed me.
I think that's the pretentious goth in me.
I see. Maybe I did think it was probably a bit pretentious. I thought it was an effect that I didn't enjoy. It was a bit too. Look at me.
That was wicked. A wicked accidental partridge. It was an effect I didn't enjoy.
Yeah, I saw they're going for something. Oh, check me out. I'm very serious. I'm very moody. But I'm like, nah, man, come on. This is too much.
I just.
So I could have done without that.
I loved all of the melodrama of that song. I got it. It was beautifully kind of just. Overwrought and raw, and it's a really nice way they told that story.
Talking about her pearl black eyes.
Oh my god, so
like
good, man, so good. I was so bought into
that. Is really overwrought.
Of course, man. You know what I mean? This is absolutely fucking hot topic poetry. But what can you do, man? Love that shit.
Right. Okay, I think that it could have been 2 minutes shorter. And I would have enjoyed it a lot more. And literally, if they'd taken away that breathy vocal underneath, I would have been, all right, this is a good song. As it is, it's a good song with some reservations.
Okay, I'm a good song with fewer reservations. Right. Well, okay. Then track number 4. Then should we do that one?
Let's do that.
This one's called "From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea."
Right. And this one, 7 minutes 40.
Yeah, I looked at that and went, this had better be fucking good.
Yeah, exactly. What are you bringing me into here?
And you know, like lyrically, this is another bad relationship song. It's about infidelity and the dysfunction of a relationship, and two people not on the same page with that. But
yeah, I must admit, I have not read into what sort of where he was in relationships at this time, but I wonder how much of this is about something very specific.
Yeah. I hear all these lovely little guitar noises as this kind of bass riff comes in and it kicks.
That riff coming in.
Yeah, so nice.
And that shuffling drums.
Yeah. I think that, I mean, I didn't know much about him, but I think this guy's a really nice player. The way he plays, really nice beats throughout this record.
This guy has been drumming with he's called Boris, and he's been drumming with them since 1984 at this point. And what he does seem to do, he doesn't necessarily just keep that sort of 4/4 beat. He does a lot of fills and plays on different parts of the kit for effect and atmosphere. It works really well. And then, Robert Smith, full on Robert Smith mode again.
It's a very kind of, I describe that impassioned but broken kind of vocal.
Oh yeah, exactly. There's a real desperation at times, but it's a man who doesn't know what to do.
Oh man, I mean, I really, 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 really love this song.
Really, yeah. This is so far. Would you say this your favourite?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is terrific. It's terrific. I'd say this sound as well. There was loads of the early 90s indie bands were trying to do this sort of sound, and for The Cure just to come back and, but there you go, here's 7 minutes of this. That's impressive.
That's amazing, man.
They're on top of their game at this one. And then later on, it kicks in about 5 minutes in. It kicks up a gear when more guitars come in. The guitar solo comes in.
They really do those fucking big, kind of echoey, dissonant guitars better than nearly anyone else, don't they?
Really cool.
When it starts kind of coming in those little electronic touches, I think that's about the time as it kicks back in heavier as well. It's just...
Sure, yeah.
Everything is in service of this big fucking emotional journey, you know. That's what I found with this and other songs on here. It just, you know, even if I wasn't really 100% connecting with what it was about or even reading the lyrics, it was just like, this is making me feel euphorically sad.
I absolutely get what you're saying as well. It is, I want it to make me feel horrendously miserable. That's what I'm after at this point. And the whole tone and the sound of these songs, when it works, it's brilliant at that.
Fucking tortuous.
Yeah, no, definitely. It's terrific. I've never been much about lyrics on this one. I didn't pay too much attention apart from going through and having a look, going, all right, this is another breakup one, or this is another one about parties you don't want to be at, whatever. But even if you took the lyrics away from this, I think you would get the feel of it anyway. As an instrumental, this would still work.
100% agree with that. 100. I think, you know, and I think there are songs on here that, you know, are at their best when there's no vocals.
Yeah, and definitely. And like I say, whenever this kicks in to the big noise towards the end, you know, there's no vocals there. It turns out as well that the guitar solo at that point is Robert Smith on guitar. It's not their guitarist Pearl Thompson who usually does that sort of. It's Robert Smith doing the solo on this one. But when that all kicks in, it is just a swell that has come from 5 minutes of build up into this big release, and it's beautiful.
I've written it down. I've written kind of washy solo because it is. It's like waves of kind of just splashing all over you, and because I think I probably read the same bit as you about him writing the solo, so I was waiting for it to come in.
Oh, right, yeah.
And I was thinking, maybe it's going to be a really technical thing, and it isn't. It's a very unique solo,
but it works for what it is.
Yeah, I love this song. It builds to a really fucking solid ending. I think it's a real journey of a song. And you know, if you're going to have a song that's nearly 8 minutes long, you absolutely have to have that. You have to justify that. And again, for me, looking at that song length, going, I don't know, but it totally justified it for me.
Absolutely. And when you get to the end, you don't go, oh, thank fuck, that was a trek. You're like, oh wow, that worked.
It's almost like one of those, you kind of almost have to exhale after the end of it, because it's like, know, and I just going, fuck, I wish I could see this. I'd love to see them play this live. Fuck, I bet that's amazing.
I watched a live version of this actually from back in 92 or 93, and it was excellent. It was really powerfully done, because you can see the crowd. Obviously, it's not something like High, where it's a poppy single or whatever, and it's not one of their big 80s, it's not Love Cats, but you can see the crowd just really getting into it, and the band pounding and pounding along. Really cool.
Amazing, mate. Amazing. Well, so, okay, I mean, out of those first 4 singles, I am pretty much 3 for 4, I think. So not singles,
I would agree with that.
First 4 songs, 3 for 4 I am. Nice surprise so far. I mean, I wasn't expecting to hate it, but I wasn't expecting to like it this much.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Very happy.
Cool. All right, well, let's have a quick pause.
Okay, so let's do a quick check on what was going on in the album charts and thereabouts this week. The time period, like I said, it's April, but it's right at the end of April that we're looking at. We're looking at the 26th of April into the 2nd of May, so the very last week. And like I said at the top, this is only number 1 for 1 week. We've seen a lot of these before. There's not really much. Number 10 is Tears for Fears, Best Of. Number 9, Def Leppard's Adrenalize. 8, Soul to Soul, Volume 3. 7, Queen Greatest Hits 2, which, if we remember, this was the one that was number 1 at Christmas and is still top 10.
I mean, so, those albums were everywhere.
Yeah, oh, totally. It was huge. Number 6, Madness, Divine Madness. Number 5, ZZ Top's Greatest Hits. Number 4, Simply Red Stars. Number 3, Annie Lennox, Diva. And number 2, Right Said Fred's Up. So we've done 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these.
That top 10 is collective number 1s, motherfucker.
It really is. The only couple of albums, or releases rather, that I saw in the same time period. The first one is NoFX released The Longest Line EP, which I think might be their first release, an EP.
I'm not sure.
That's a lot. 92 is early for me to be thinking of NoFX.
Well, we've already had, obviously they're all coming out of that same movement, aren't they? I mean, we've had Green Day's first record a few weeks ago as well.
Yes, absolutely. So I guess there's maybe a bit of a scene going on, a bit of a groundswell, but that's, I was not into that at all. Still not.
I mean, you're talking about 94, I guess that stuff started coming. Was it 94, 94, 95 for like the Offspring and Green Day? Dookie?
Yeah, and Green Day's Dookie and that sort of stuff.
Was that 93? Dookie was 93, wasn't it? I'm not sure. I haven't.
I thought it was 94.
I will have a look at my phone device.
Cool, but yeah, I guess this is the very, very beginnings of those bands, like what I would call that 90s ska punk sort of scene starting off.
Sure.
And it was never my thing anyway.
I mean, I think NoFX are a great live band, and of all of those bands, they're one of the ones I like the best.
Fair enough.
94, first of February 1994 was
94.
Dookie.
Okay, so we're a couple of years out from when it got mainstream, I suppose, would what we were saying. But it was starting off. But the only other album that I saw released was in the charts this week at number 24 is L7's Bricks Are Heavy, which is brilliant.
Such a good record.
Absolutely
such a good record. Yeah. I played one of their tracks over our Facebook Live last night, and there was some comments about it.
Yeah, no, it's great. It's one of those ones as well that does bring you right back to, that time period, because it's not one of the ones that you hear all the time, like Nirvana or Pearl Jam, that they're still played on whatever radio stations. Whenever I hear L7, something off this album especially, you're like, oh, fucking hell, yeah, that brings me back to being 17.
I mean, I loved L7, I thought they were, really transgressive and fun, there was obviously the whole fucking her throwing a tampon at someone at Reading.
Indeed.
Was it Reading? And there was the whole kind of dropping her trousers on the word.
Yeah, all of those things. They were brilliant for headlines.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and they had some fucking great songs. I mean, like... Yeah. Bricks Are Heavy is loaded with great songs.
That's the thing, it's like 10 tracks, so it doesn't go on too much, and they're all just really good riff-heavy rock songs. Really cool.
Yeah, man. Wargasm. What's the fucking Venator, skinhead name? Scrap. That one. It's brilliant.
Yep.
Lived in my friend's garage.
Monster I loved. Obviously, the big
Monster,
singles.
Shitlist.
Shitlist is fantastic, yeah. And that's before you ever even get to... Everglade or Pretend We're Dead, the big songs. It's really good album.
Pretend We're Dead's fucking great. Yeah, amazing record. If you were listening to this podcast and you're a little bit younger and you've accidentally listened to this podcast,
sorry about that.
Check that record out. It's an amazing, amazing record of its moment and very representative of what was going on at that moment in time in Los Angeles.
Absolutely. But there you go. That's all I have for albums released this week in April 1992.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. But we've got a nice long Cure album to talk about. So let's dive back in with track number 5, which is called
Wendy Time.
That's not a good name for a song.
Wendy Time is weird.
It sounds like you want to go to a particular American fast food restaurant.
Quite. Yes, maybe that's what they're aiming for. They're a bit of product placement.
I swear to God, I would sell my soul for a fast food burger at this point.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah.
McDonald's has been closed for 2 weeks.
Mate, I didn't realise, because again, this is this lockdown, and we're into week 2 of complete lockdown, and I've been out of the house, twice, because I don't want to, and I've got enough stuff in the house. I didn't realise that loads of the fucking takeaways were shut. This is bullshit.
Oh, yeah.
Bullshit.
Most of them are shut.
I knew the fast food ones were. But yeah, no, I fucking I thought I'll treat myself to a Chinese takeaway. I thought I'll order online, I'll get a delivery. Nope. Nothing around me.
No.
Bullshit, mate. Bullshit. Anyway, right, yes.
You'd only got like chips and gravy or something from the Chinese.
Exactly.
I bet you're the kind of cunt that orders chips from a Chinese takeaway.
Oh, that's even, below me. I have never done that. But now you put the idea in my head.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's on the English menu, please?
Oh, omelette, you say?
Yeah, exactly. Steak. Well done steak.
Mm.
Right. Okay, so
track 5, Wendy Time.
Yes, indeed. Right, let's have a listen. Well, we left this record on From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea.
Yes.
And this just sounds like a totally different band, isn't it?
I've got the exact same note. It doesn't sound like anything else so far at all. There's wah-wah sound going on.
Yeah. It's kind of almost like happy light funk. It's almost a bit top loader.
Ooh, Jesus. Oh, that's a horrible thing to say. never admit that to Robert Smith that you compared his band to Top Loader.
This song sounds a bit top loader, man.
Yeah.
I don't think he particularly likes this song, to be honest with you.
No, I don't know if you read the same thing. He has said in an interview since that he doesn't think it fits on the album.
No, and he's entirely correct. I don't. This one doesn't do a lot for me at all. It sounds very much song by the numbers, by committee a little bit.
Yeah, and it's the sound wise, it's this upbeat, jaunty sound. Which, again, you're comparing it to Top Loader. I would compare it to other stuff that's going on in the indie world at this point, which is a bit too cheery and generic. I don't like the sound of this one bit.
No, it's not for me. I'm not against them in this up-tempo mode, but I don't... But this isn't one of the ones that does it for me at all. Right. I would say this is probably my least favourite track on the album.
Oh, really? Of the whole lot, yeah?
Yeah, I'd say so.
Okay.
And I don't hate it. It just washes over me, really.
Yeah, fair enough. I don't like the lyrics, even though it's the same lyrical content as the first one, because it's about groupies on tour and the hangers-on who are willing to be your mate for the night and that sort of shit. And Robert Smith turning them all down, going, "Leave me alone. I don't want this." But
yeah,
I don't give a shit because the song's too annoying.
Yes, I agree with you completely. Well, let's not dilly or dally with this song. Let's move on to the next one called Doing the Unstuck.
It's a perfect day for letting go.
And suddenly we're into Billy Bragg territory.
Yeah.
Another different sound again.
Yeah, I kind of wasn't necessarily feeling this intro that much.
No. And it's a forced happiness song about fucking let's get happy. Don't do this at all. Let's get happy. No, this annoys the piss out of me, this song.
Yeah, I don't much like this.
No. And again, I can't take Robert Smith seriously when he's telling me to be happy. Robert fucking Smith.
It's like fucking Colonel Gaddafi telling you to be a good citizen.
Yeah, exactly.
That riff's nice though.
That's all right.
That's nice. I'm not
getting anything from this. The lyrics on this as well, like fucking.
That picked guitar's nice.
It's a perfect day for kiss and swell, rip zipping, button popping, kiss and well. There's loads of stuff can make you yell. Let's get happy. That's awful.
No, it's not good. It's not a good thing. I mean, I can't even actually remember the lyric too well on this one. Was there is there a twist to it? Is there a barb at the end of it?
No, he literally is. He's just saying, "Come on, everyone, let's be happy." What?
Well, all right. Him and Jive Bunny.
Yeah, and I guess if you're going to say those things, you're going to have a tune a bit like this, a bit more upbeat and silly and frivolous. But it doesn't sound happy. It doesn't sound like Right Said Fred whenever they were having a great time. It almost sounds like he's taking the piss. He's got this slightly more upbeat, but still a little bit maudlin song going, let's get happy. And I don't think he's saying it ironically. But it sounds like he should be, because he's Robert Smith.
Okay, well, let's...
It brings me back to whenever the Merry Widers Experience did their sketches, they had their version of Robert Smith singing songs like I'm a Little Teapot and The Laughing Policeman, but in the Cure style. And that's what this reminds me of again.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm not a fan of this one. I actually do remember was listening to this album and going, this... is it gone now?
Right, yeah. Well, I suppose we're halfway through the album, and having had such a strong start, these last two songs have been a real drop-off for me.
Yeah, I mean, I was 3 for 4, and now I'm 3 for 6.
Yeah, well, precisely, yeah. Mm.
But the next song, you probably all know, the next one is Friday I'm in Love.
Yeah, everyone knows this one.
Everyone knows. This is one of their biggest ever singles.
Absolutely. Huge, around the world single. It was the second single released off this album. It got to number 6 in the UK.
Yeah.
And it is, I'd say this is probably their biggest song. If you had to name a Cure song, for me it's either this or Love Cats in terms of their most well-known. Yeah,
I agree. And look, I know this song's got its critics.
Yeah.
Some people don't like it. Some people don't like it. I think this is a perfectly crafted pop song.
Oh, really? Yeah.
I think this is for me everything that this podcast is about. It's a fucking great song with a pop sensibility. It's well written. All the bits sit in part. I love this song. I don't have too much to say about it. Other than I just think all the parts fit together really well, and it comes up with this great final product.
I cannot argue with the perfectly crafted pop song bit. You're absolutely right, and this is catchy as all hell, and there's a reason it's their biggest song, and it's the reason that it's the one that gets played in the indie clubs to this day, and all of that thing. But I don't particularly like it. I think it's a bit cloyingly simpering. It's trying a bit too hard for some way to be this kooky love song, and it annoys me.
I think you need to put your cynical hat on the dresser, Mr. Krista Greer. I think that this is a really lovely, simple song. It's about a feeling of a moment. It's like going, do you know what? All of this shit is fucking dragging me down, but it's about that fucking moment where you're like, fuck it, this is fine. And I think, I think there's more cynicism in, all these other things, everything that happens with all these other days, he's saying, life's shit, but actually right now, this is fucking alright.
Yeah.
I think it's a darker fucking song than you're giving it credit for. I think it's just about that thing of like, in the darkness, you see a glimmer of light, and you're like, yes, this is it. I love this song. This is where I'm at, and I love that about it. I love the feel of that lyric juxtaposed against the tone of the song. I think this is a brilliant song, man. I really do.
Oh God, right. See, if I never heard this again, I'd be fine with that.
No, I love this song. I don't think this. It's a song that whenever it comes on, I'm happy that it's on.
Oh right, no, I would always, given the choice, skip this if it came on a playlist, or if it came on the radio, I would tune it out or switch over. Some of that is probably because I DJ'd indie clubs for a long time and had to play an awful lot of it, and it was the one that people wanted. But it's not all that. It's definitely not all that. This song does annoy me. I think it's too on the nose twee, and I have the issue the same way I did with that fucking Right Said Fred song, where he just listed the months. That this is, again, the conceit he's come up with, I think, is trite and
next
silly.
Thing you'll be telling me you don't like 7 Days by Craig David.
Well, strap yourself in, motherfucker.
I think you've taken. I think that's a weird exception that you've taken to that particular format. You've got a real problem with date-based songs.
It's fucking stupid. It's like if I did a song, okay, I'm going to call this colours, and then I just went red, yellow, blue, purple, black. That's a fucking stupid conceit for a song.
It's one of the biggest songs of all time, mate. I believe you've never heard I Can Sing a Rainbow.
Oh, okay, well, there you go. That's a fucking stupid song.
There you go, mate.
Yeah.
Wheels on the Bus, how do you feel about that?
Bullshit.
Give me some metaphysics, motherfucker!
Derivative.
No points. No, sir. Happy birthday, you say? No points.
I think Robert Smith is in two minds about this one himself, because there's been two quotes I found. One time he says it's one of his favourite Cure singles ever. He loves it, and he thinks it is, like you say, a perfectly crafted pop song. But he's also quoted as saying, and I quote here, "This poppy ode to seeing your girl on Fridays was for people who aren't actually fans of The Cure." He thinks it's an outlier for their sound and isn't necessarily. It's not what The Cure are about.
But I think that because I read some of that stuff, I've read some more of this stuff in concert. I think really what he's getting at there, or certainly what I took from it, was that it was that kind of Kurt Cobain thing. It's like, okay, this is the door I've opened so you other people can come in my world, and I would rather you people weren't all here. However, it's kind of a bit of a necessary
a poison chalice.
Evil. Yeah, exactly that. And that's the thing, isn't it? It's being as big as you can to have the absolute freedom to do whatever you want, but having to do it for people that aren't part of your tribe.
Well, indeed, and I imagine whenever they play live, I suspect every bone of his body goes, "Oh, I wish I didn't have to play Friday I'm in Love." It's like, I wish I didn't have to play the hit.
I don't know, because I would imagine that by this point of their career, people that, it's not like the standard mainstream. Probably a lot of the people that he didn't liking them have fallen by the wayside. Or the other side, which is everyone has got so old that those tribal borders matter far, far less. Because that's a very youth-focused thing. That's something you kind of have to. That kind of tribalism is something you have to grow out of to a degree, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know. I've not been to a Cure gig, so I don't know what the kind of the makeup is of it these days. But I don't know. I suspect there's a lot of fans that would kick off if they didn't hear this on a night out at The Cure.
Oh yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I'd want to hear it. I think he likes this song. I think he's got
he's wrong.
A soft spot for it. No, he's absolutely not, mate. You're a cynical old man. I don't know what's happened to you. Who hurt you?
Life. This one, the cover version I found of this one is, and actually I quite enjoy it because for some reason Natalie Imbruglia doing this on a banjo works for me.
How? What?
Yeah,
indeed. I mean, literally Natalie Imbruglia doing nearly anything on a banjo would work for me.
Well, quite.
But doing anything.
yeah. But that's the cover version of this that I'm going to stick into the playlist.
Okay.
Yeah, it's nice.
Fair enough, mate. I look forward to hearing it.
Lovely.
All right, so the next track is called Trust.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so we've got these keys here.
Yes, indeed. Back to a more kind of serious sound on the album.
Mm-hmm.
Leaving behind the poppiness of the last couple of tunes.
Now, this, if you told me that this was a Mogwai song, I wouldn't question it.
Yeah, that does sound like them.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, I mean, especially it's like a 5.5 minute song, and it's like 2.5 minutes before any vocals come in as well.
Yeah, I mean, this song has just got this absolutely lovely sadness to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it makes me this kind of warm, melancholic.
Yeah,
the thing, like when you look back, when you look back at things that have passed, and you're like, you almost like miss opportunities. You look back, but you remember the creation of that opportunity warmly.
Okay.
I don't know if that's it gave me that feel. It was about, it's very just emotive of feelings of like lost innocence and times past.
Okay, yeah. Nice.
That's how it made me feel. And there's no vocal in this until like nearly 3 minutes in.
Yeah, absolutely. We're now like a minute and a half ish into it, and we're still a minute away from any actual lyrics.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a building.
And this all of this here is so fucking lovely. Those kind of keyboard chords underneath.
Yeah.
like kind of string chords almost, and just this kind of gentle, like sad menace to it. It's so beautiful, man. I absolutely love this.
Right, I can tell, yeah. I've not even put the Mogwai thing in there, but as soon as you said it, I can hear it now. I mean, I must admit, for this, I think this is very nice, and it took me a few listens to get. At first, I thought it was just a bit dull, nothing really going on, but a few listens through the album, it picked up for me. I still think it could be maybe a minute shorter. It's 5.5 minutes. I don't think it needs. I think it goes on a little bit, but I think it's nice. It's slow. It's very sober and morose. There's only one verse and one chorus in the whole thing.
Yeah.
But I think it works nicely.
For me, I would have probably preferred if they'd left this as instrumental.
Yes, whenever his vocal comes in, I don't think it's his best vocal.
Yeah, I don't dislike it. It's another song about a troubled relationship.
Yeah.
Followed Friday, I'm in love. Must be Saturday. I don't know.
Saturday, I woke up with a hangover. Realised that this is all gone to shit again.
Oh no, none of this is very good at all. I don't mind it, but I just think it just doesn't match the instrumental. And the thing for me, because the instrumental was so evocative of something fairly specific, having a vocal which is on a different theme is almost a little bit of a jar for me.
Right,
which
okay.
is a very selfish reaction, obviously, and not a valid piece of music criticism, but it's just a personal experience, you know.
Right, okay, but that makes sense to me, and I get what you're saying. But yeah, okay, in terms of this song, I think it's nice. I don't think it's as powerful as like the first third of the album when we had those really big epic ones. But I think it's nice. It kind of is a bit more of a, you know, inferior version of those ones for me.
See, for me, I think something that we haven't talked about, and maybe we'll talk about it more at the end, is I think a great deal of thought has been given to the ebb and flow of the sequencing of this album.
Okay, yeah.
You know, and I think it's no coincidence that this song, with this kind of like really kind of in-depth, kind of dour introspection, comes directly on the heels of the kind of the big poppy
middle
hit of the record.
Right. You
know, Friday until I'm in Love into this is deliberately a little bit contrarian, and it's also just a really nice kind of, all right, so you're the band that does this and you do this. It's great, man. I really, really, really particularly took to this song. Okay.
Well, from knowing how much of a Mogwai fan you are, I can see why that would be. I think this is perfectly fine, but I don't get it as hard as you do on this one.
Fair enough. Well, look, that is track 8.
Yes, well, so that's 2/3 of the album done.
2/3, right? Okay, so maybe it's time for us to dig into the singles.
Let's have a look at the singles. Right, nice one. Right, singles-wise, let's go through the top 10 of this week, and there's only a couple of new ones in here. Number 10 is 10 Sharp with You, which we talked about a couple of podcasts ago that neither of us really remember, but it's still hanging around there. Number 9 is a new entry, the top 10, so I mean, you're going to know exactly what this is, because I'm pretty sure he says it straight away, but can you remember who did this one?
Please don't go. Yeah. Please don't go.
I fucking hated this.
It's not Hadaway.
No.
It's Sydney Youngblood?
No.
It's one of those people.
It's not a person's name, actually. I've led you down the wrong path on that. It's not a name.
I love you so. Is it not the London Boys? No, London B. No, it's one of those fucking groups.
Exactly. It's one of those.
I love you so. Oh, you went up through that door. Hang on. Please don't go. Oh, who is it? Please don't go. Oh, I know who this is. Is it Initials?
It is, yes.
Oh.
It's 3 letters.
It is 3 letters, I know it is. Yep. It's, oh, fuck you. Fuck
I imagine they probably had...
Tell me what it is.
No, they probably had one follow-up single after this, which did fuck all, and then we never heard from them again. That's my guess.
No, who is it?
KWS.
First letter.
Sorry.
That's alright. AWS, yeah.
KWS, yeah.
KWS,
Absolute
yeah.
bullshit, that fucking song.
Because all I had in my head as well was K7. Like, who were like, come baby, come baby, come. I wanna give me a song.
Oh dear.
But yeah, fuck you, KWS.
Yeah,
fuck you, KWS.
That's number 9 anyway. Number 8 is Michael Jackson in the Closet, which was one of the ones that we both agreed on was a good song off that album whenever we did that one.
Good track.
Yep. Number 7 is Carter, the Unstoppable Sex Machine's Only Loving Boy in the Cross. Number 6, Curtis Steiger's All That Matters to Me. Number 5, Vanessa Williams' Save the Best till Last. Number 4, Mark Almond, The Days of Pearly Spencer. Number 3 is a new entry to the top.
So just before we go on though, do you not think that Joe Exotic should have called himself Curtis Tigers?
Oh God. Nice. Oh, dude. Right, the number 3, it's a new entry, but it's a re-release. This is like the 1992 version of this song. And this is a fucking belter. Here we go.
Sisters of Mercy.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes,
Sisters of
it
Mercy,
is.
Temple of Love.
Temple of Love.
Temple of Love, 1992.
Love.
This was probably the first time I'd ever heard Sisters. Actually, no, Lucretia My Reflection was on one of the Now albums at the late 80s.
Yeah.
But this was the first time I'd heard Temple of Love, I guess. I don't remember it from the first release. This 1992 re-release was the one, and it's a great song. I must admit, I wasn't particularly into it at the time. I think I bought the 12-inch of it, but I wasn't such a big fan or anything like that. But it is, you can't deny it's a great song.
Look, man, there was the only thing that was between me and mega gothdom at sixth form college was the right group of friends.
Oh, right, I see. And that bloke who snogged a girl you like.
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, man, I think when I got to sixth form, right?
Yeah.
If that grunge thing hadn't been happening and alternative music hadn't happened, I could have quite. I mean, on my first day at sixth form college, I had a fucking long black raincoat. Do you know what I mean?
Okay, yes, true. Yeah, you could easily have slipped down that rabbit hole into painting your nails jet black and whitening out your face.
I had a band t-shirt with a black shirt over the top of it and black jeans.
Right, you're 3/4 of the way there at that point.
Mate, I was borderline goth.
Wicked.
And you know what? I do still love a load of goth shit, and I love Tim Burton movies, and I fucking love all of that shit.
Yeah, no, hey mate, you said right at the start of this that this appeals to your goth sensibilities. This album, that's what you're getting.
Yeah. Pale skinned, dark haired girls. Never ever been with any of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, a type you say? No. Right, so the rest of the top 10. That's number 3. Number 2 is SL2's On a Ragged Tip, and number 1 is Right Said Fred's Deeply Dippy. So,
nice.
Yeah, not the best top 10 we've ever seen, let's face it. And there's not an awful lot else out that I want to talk about. One thing that you're not probably even going to know is a band called Flowered Up.
Oh, I know Flowered Up, yeah.
Like, really kind of stereotype baggy indie band.
Almost like if Simon Cowell put together a baggy band.
Yeah, precisely. And so they released Weekender this week, got to number 35. And it was, I remember reading about it, and I probably bought it because it's an 8-minute long song and is just a load of sort of spaced out trippy dippy nonsense over a wah-wah. It's very stereotype baggy indie. And the other one, I'm going to play you this, see if you remember it. I would not have got this, but I'll play this.
Yeah, this is
It's got to number 24 this week.
It's Black Crows,
Yes,
isn't
it is. It's Black Crows. I mean, I wouldn't even have got the band, I don't think. Never mind the song. Any idea on the song?
I'm trying to remember that. Yeah, I think I do. Hang on a minute.
It's like one of their bigger hits from this time, obviously.
No, it's called. It's not called. It's Take Me Something. No.
No.
What's it called?
It's called Remedy.
Remedy. No, I wouldn't have got that.
Nah, exactly.
I'll tell you what happened is that guitar came in that sounded a little bit like. I realised that a Scissor Sisters song, so I was just like, oh yeah, it's Take Your Mother Out.
Oh, see. Well, there's a lot of comparisons between the Black Crows from 1992 and the Scissor Sisters from 2006 or whatever. Yeah,
of course.
Right, but that's all I have, to be honest, mate. That's all singles I've got for you. Sorry about that.
What the fuck?
Yeah, mate. I know we need to get into another these are a 2 or 3 week album run to build it up again, but I think we're a couple of weeks away from that.
I mean, to be honest with you, if this coronavirus hadn't already destroyed the single scene, do you know what I
Hey!
mean? Anyway, right, let's crack back into this then. Track number 9 is called A Letter to Elise.
Yes. Alright, so this was the 3rd single from the album, the 3rd and last single. It only got to number 28 in October of 1992.
Yeah. Now, I remember this being one of the goth dance floor songs.
Is that right?
At
Okay.
the Switch Club in Luton.
Yeah.
So our friend DJ Nick Zinanos would have been playing this.
Oh, well, he's a big Cure fan, isn't he?
Well, mate, he's the archetypal goth, isn't he?
Yeah. I must admit, I don't remember this single. If you'd said to me, A Letter to Elise, I'd go, oh yeah, that's The Cure, because I've read it and I've seen it, but I don't remember this song.
See, I think this is just another really beautiful song.
Oh, right, yeah.
I love the way he throws his vocal in this. It just sits really nicely in the song.
I think his voice is great on this one. I think that his delivery and everything, it doesn't sound strained and it doesn't sound like he's trying too hard. It works really well.
I think, he's almost at his best when he's writing these songs about... They're kind of love songs, but they're broken love songs.
Sure, yeah. Exactly. This is another breakup song where he's kind of saying that he's sorry, but he can't keep on pretending. He knows that it's his fault, but it just can't go on, all that sort of stuff. I've made a note of one lyric. Elise, believe I never wanted this. I thought this time I'd keep all of my promises. I thought you were the girl I'd always dreamed about, but I let the dream go, and the promises broke, and make-believe ran out. That's a nice way of putting a relationship. When you've got all these dreams and ideals at the very start, and you think this is going to be brilliant, this is fucking amazing, and everything is wonderful, but as you go through, the sights change and the horizon disappears, and it's like, oh, this is not what we thought it was going to be at the start. And
there's a breakdown about just after the 4-minute mark that's very, very nice. I very like it very much.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no, this works well. And as far as I could see from reading up a bit about it, this is one that fans really are into. A lot of people relate very hard to this one. People comment about this being their favourite Cure single and that sort of thing.
I love this. When I was listening to this through earlier stages, I was making my notes. I was just like, oh fuck, I love this song.
Yeah,
I really love this song. Yeah, really, really, really like this one.
Okay.
Unfortunately, I'm not at my most entertaining when I'm just really liking something.
That's fair.
It'd be far funnier if I didn't like it. But
totally fair
really,
though.
Really
I'm glad that you're enjoying this album so much. I think this is a good song. I don't think it's one of my favourites on the album. It's a very different feel to the ones that are my favourites, because they're the more angry or menacing stuff.
I can't tell you what my favourite song on this album is, because I haven't listened to it enough yet.
Right.
And I think my favourites are going to change quite a bit as I listen to it more.
And there's probably whatever mood you're in, because there's ones for various moods. And especially if you like Friday I'm in Love, if you're happy, then bam, there you go. If you're not in the best mood, then one of the more angry ones at the start, presumably that would be your favourite at that point.
Yeah, I think there's a lot for all of them to give, but I really do like this one. This is certainly a contender for me.
All right, cool. And this is one that Blink-182 covered in an MTV tribute show. And they do it quite well.
I can absolutely see that being one of the songs that they could...
Yeah.
That being the only song that they could pull off. Now, I don't hate Blink-182.
No.
Fucking Travis Barker is a fucking demon of a drummer.
Incredible drummer.
Monster.
Yeah. And I really like a lot of their tunes. And I think one of the ones I do like most is I Miss You, which almost sounds a bit like a Cure song.
I mean, that's obvious. Yeah, that is their... clunky lyrics aside, but I that's my favourite Blink-182
Yeah, that's
song.
a good tune. Their version, they didn't do a version which is on Spotify, so I'm not going to put their version into a playlist, but there is one by the band Sensefield. Remember Sensefield?
I fucking love Sensefield. Sensefield were one of the most important bands to me in the early 90s.
Oh, okay, well...
you've no idea how much I love Sensefield.
Well, they've got a version of this, and the reason that I'm putting their version on is because... For some reason, Spotify has called their version A Letter to Elsie, which makes me just think that it should be on The Last of the Summer Wine or something like that. So I'm going to stick that into the playlist.
Fuck me.
A Letter to Doris.
A A letter to Ethel.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, cool. Well, that's a good tune, though. Good tune.
I love it, mate. Love it. Track number 10 is called Cut. You don't want to say that one wrong on the radio, do you? Sport?
Another near 6-minute song on this one.
Yeah. It's a very funereal start, isn't it?
It is, yeah, absolutely. Dirgy.
Mm-hmm. Bang.
But then, comes in.
Big drums coming through soon. Bang, bang, bang.
Yeah, much more pacey.
No, this sounds very grungy.
Oh, okay.
Listen
Well,
to
that swirling guitar. But to me, it sounds, again, the harder end of shoegaze to me.
Yeah, I get that as well, but this could also be a Screaming Tree song.
Okay, yeah. And
that riff.
Oh, it's nice. It is nice. And this, because this is much more kind of upbeat and pacey territory again, and he's more in his kind of shouty mood. This is an angrier song, and the internet suggests that this is a song directed at Lol Tolhurst, who had been fired after the previous album for alcoholism, because he was suing them for royalties.
Right.
And Robert Smith and him had been friends since they formed a band in 1973, but this has all gone really sour, and so this is him lashing out, going, "Oh, why are you having to be like this? I wish that this didn't happen. I wish we didn't have to go through this horrible stuff."
I mean, there is so much passion in this fucking vocal, man. Like the way he's fucking with that, the it's all gone, the fucking spite and the pain in his voice on it.
Yeah.
His guitar's going absolutely mental in the background, man. But, I again, absolutely love this one. It's so fucking good. I mean, I was just listening to it. This is more than anything, just listening going, I really wish I could be in a room hearing them play this live.
I see, okay, yeah.
Or like at the time, and I'm like going, shit. I'm so dismissive of this band at the time, and I could have gone to see this at fucking probably, I don't know, wherever they'd have been playing at the time.
I mean, they were doing stadiums in the States.
Or something,
yeah, they were doing stadiums there, but yeah, they probably would have done a forum gig or something over here, maybe, I don't know. I saw them once at Reading. I saw them headline Reading one year, but it was slightly drizzly, and they were playing a load of stuff that I just didn't know. I'm not sure if it was off a new album or recent album, and it was me and our friend Marvin were there, and I was like, I just want to hear the early stuff that I know, and they weren't playing it, and it started raining heavier, so we just went to the backstage bit to get a pint and sit down, and then they encored with all the stuff I wanted to hear, obviously.
Right.
I was like, fucking missed it, just completely missed it.
Fuck's sake.
Yeah. Gutted. That's my only experience of live Cure.
Yeah, I just think this song is magnificent, man. I'd love to be there, just slightly stoned, just letting it wash over me.
Oh, okay.
This is, again, every fucking good post-rock band in the world was borrowed from this song.
Sure, there's a lot, exactly. You can hear a lot of the seeds of other stuff in this sound.
Sure.
I don't think I'm as into this as you are. I think this is a very good song, but it doesn't grab me, and I wouldn't rush to play this one again.
See, this would be if you nailed me down and asked me for a favourite song on this album right now, and I had to give you an answer, this would be the answer.
Oh wow!
Right now.
Right.
I love this, man. I think it's fucking incredible.
Oh god. Okay. No, this would be mid-table for me on the favourites.
Right. I mean, I'm where I'm at the minute is you know how often we talk about these records, if we listen to a record and it's, like with Right Said Fred or with some of this stuff, and you get to this point of the album, like 9-10 tracks in, you're towards the end, and you're fatigued and you're like, fuck, this could almost be the best song in the world, and I would still hate it because I'm so fatigued.
Yeah, true.
Right?
Yeah.
I've got the exact opposite of that at the moment, where I'm like, I was listening through this and I'm like, whatever they throw at me at this point, it's going to have to be exceptionally bad for me not to like it.
Okay. All right. Yeah, they've got you in the palm of their hand at this point then.
Yeah.
Right.
So, all right, well, next track is called...
To Wish Impossible Things.
And when it started, I was like, "Is this a forest?"
Well,
just like for a second.
Exactly. My note on this is instantly. This is the sound of the Cure that I want to hear. This is 17 seconds. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I was like, "Oh fuck, here we are." This is kind of what I signed up for. And one of the shorter songs on here, only 4.5 minutes.
Yeah, it's very slow and ponderous.
Yes, it is.
But coming off of all of that ire and the fucking the power of that last track, again, it's a really nice stop on the journey of this record.
Okay.
So I think there's a misstep in this record with 2 tracks.
Yeah.
But I do very much think the rest of it works as quite a good journey.
Right.
Because this has kind of got a bit of a kind of stoned fairy tale feel to it, hasn't it? It's got a bit of the, it's got an adult fairy tale with fucking razor blades and apples.
And there's cello coming in. Yeah, it's a bit ethereal as well. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, like I said, the sound, I was like instantly, okay, cool. But by the end of the song, I was like, actually, that was a bit dull. I think there's a wasted opportunity.
I think you're right. I think it's a little bit, like I say, ponderous and slow. But I think in the context of this record, it works. We said this a lot when we were talking about the Beastie Boys. Like, actually, maybe 4.5 minutes is a bit different to like a minute and a half of something that works. But for me, this works in the context of the album really well.
Okay, fair enough. I like the sentiment behind it. I like the lyrics in it. It's about kind of longing for your youth and when everything was vibrant and exciting and the feelings you had back in those days. You can't get that feeling back. I like the melancholy thought process of that, and I like the imagery that it conjures to me, but I just don't think that the tune lives up to that. It doesn't. There is no central tune to this that makes me go, oh, that also makes me feel that way. It just washes over me, the music. Yeah,
I think that's a very fair criticism, but it also isn't necessarily a criticism.
Well, put it this way, for me, I wouldn't go back to this song at all.
The thing is, with this album on the whole, with the exception of Friday, I'm in Love, I'm not sure I'd go back to much of it on its own.
You would do the whole album.
What I would do, I'd go back to the album.
Okay.
And that is a way, way more important thing to me. That's much rarer and much bigger thing for me.
No, definitely. And what we've said all along, that is one of the main differences between how you and I listen to music. I rarely listen to a full album. You love listening to, start to finish, the journey.
Yeah,
absolutely. I will pick and choose much more than you do.
Yeah, I very much love to kind of go, right, this is a body of work, this is where they were at this time.
Right.
Digging in, fucking off we go. And when they and it is, it's increasingly rare as well for that to be a great thing. And when I find it, I really cherish that fucking thing, man.
Right. Cool.
Anyway, right. So that was To Wish Impossible. Let's not spend any more time on it. I'm more positive about it than you are.
Yes.
But I think we basically agree. It is a little bit fillery, but I think that it works well in the context of where it is. Right. So the final track is called End. The first track's called Open. The last one's called End.
It's a nice little coda to it, or not coda, a nice little bookend. Right.
So this kind of sounds like a grungy Gary Newman vibe.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was instantly straight into the sound of this one. I liked the instrumentation, etc.
And there's some fucking great lyrics in this song. That first lyric, which will come in a minute, where he's like, I'm at the point where giving up and going on are both basically the same dead end to me. What a fucking lyric!
Yeah. I was going to say, the story behind this that I read was that apparently he had joked before the release of the album, this might be the end of The Cure.
Right.
And so this song was almost him putting a finality about why this might be the end of the band. He'd stopped enjoying it and he couldn't be bothered anymore, and it all changed in a way he didn't like. And presumably having to fire his best mate last year. didn't go down well. So that's where he's at with this song, even though it wasn't the end of the band. They've done another 20 years, but I like the fact that he's put this on here for that reason.
He just kind of chugs along, right?
Yeah.
And again, this is a lovely, just little bit of fucking pocket drumming, isn't it? That beat behind this. Like you said earlier, he's using different bits of the kit. In everybody else's hands would be like, but there's enough going on there that it's a really kind of
rolling through.
Yeah, rolling is absolutely the right word, man.
Yeah.
It's almost like a self-hate anthem, this, isn't it?
Oh,
it's
God,
like kind of full of like imposter syndrome and that kind of, the whole kind of the classic goth missive of being misunderstood by people.
Well, totally. But the like that. Please stop loving me. Please stop. That's, I am none of these things. That's a great line. That's your fans. This adulation you get from the public and the persona that they think is you, and you're like, fuck off. Just fuck off and stop projecting whatever your stuff is onto me. I'm not that person. Leave me alone.
Like, you didn't like the other kind of that vocal effect where they had the whispering. And how do you feel about this kind of reverse reverby effect that he's got running through this vocal?
Love it.
Yeah, it's great.
I think this is probably my favourite song on the album. I think this is fucking brilliant.
This is marvellous. I love this as well. This is a perfect way to end this. It's just like an amazing kind of crescendo of record, because this song just keeps building and growing through.
Exactly.
His voice is fucking great on it.
Yep.
Yeah, love this, man.
Yeah,
absolutely
the whole way through.
It.
It's 6 minutes 45, and it builds the whole way through. The guitars intensify throughout. Smith's vocals, you get drawn into it as he gets more and more kind of twisted in his words, and he's trying to push the listener away all the way through. And the build is beautifully done on this.
I agree completely. It's a wonderful, isn't it so weird that his song about alienation is the one that fucking compels us most to play? It's amazing. I absolutely right. So look, that's the last track on this record.
Right, that's it.
I mean, it is obviously of no surprise to anyone that's listened to any of this that I fucking love this album, man.
Yeah, you are really into it.
Oh man, look, this is easily by a mile the best album I've discovered from doing this podcast.
Oh, right. Over the whole 3 years, or just this season? Well, this season's not fucking hard because it's all Right Said Fred and Wet, but
no, completely. No, there has not been an album. I mean, there's nothing even close. Unless I'm missing something, there's nothing that's even close,
right,
to being this up my street and this good. This is like I've listened to this and I've gone, you're a bit of a dick for not having been listening to this album for years.
I do regret not giving this a go a lot earlier, definitely.
Yeah.
But then again, I don't know if I'm not sure if I'd heard this in 1992 and I had given it a go. It's potential that I wouldn't have enjoyed it as much. I don't think 17-year-old me would have been particularly into this in the way that I am now.
I think you're absolutely right. I think 16, 17-year-old me wouldn't have been that bothered by this.
Yeah.
But I think probably if I'd have found this record 10 or 15 years ago,
absolutely, then
I'd have had another 10 or 15 years with it. But what I am going to do is listen to the fuck out of this record for the next few weeks. I know that.
Really good, man.
Yeah, to the point I'm probably going to buy a CD of it so I can put it in my car.
Shitting hell, mate. Wow.
Yeah,
fucking
probably going to do that.
Cool. Right, well, we're at the point where we got to decide on tracks to put into our ongoing playlist.
Okay, fuck, I haven't even thought of this, to be honest with you.
Well, yeah, you're going to struggle because there's so many that you were like, this.
Okay.
I'm going to assume...
Let me start with you. What would you put in?
Right, I mean, the last track, End, like I said, that's my favourite.
Yeah.
I think that's fantastic. I understand that it might be a bit weird if you have this song, which is the crescendo of the entire album, in the middle of a playlist, but fuck it, I would still go for it. But I would also advocate for the first track, Open, and I would advocate for track 4, From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea.
I mean, I'm 100% on From the Edge of the Deep Green Sea.
Okay, yep.
I also obviously really like Open. I would probably edge Letter to Elise over it.
Over Open?
Yeah, and obviously I would really, really argue for Cut as well.
Right.
But so look, we've got. I mean, the way I'm going, we've got one really. Do you know what, man? I don't care. Put any 3 tracks from this album on that aren't. Honestly, I don't give a shit. I just love it. I love this record.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah. Put. Honestly, let's go with the 3 that you love. But I would say to anyone that listens to this that doesn't know this record, go and have a listen to it.
I would definitely. Yeah. If you have enjoyed any of what you have heard on this, obviously you're going to hear 1.5-minute snippets of all of the songs. If you enjoy them, a lot of them are 7 minutes long, so there's a lot more to get stuck into. So I would definitely recommend people giving this a go if they've liked any of what they've heard. Skip over the fucking happy ones. Man. Skip over that Let's Get Happy song. Don't worry about that one. But
yeah, I mean, maybe that's what you're into. Maybe you're into happiness, and if so, why are you listening to this?
Yeah, true. Two grumpy old men talking about The Cure.
Exactly. Anyway, look, guys, thank you for joining us. I've had a fucking blast sat here in my office. It's not quite the same as being in the room together, is it?
No, it's not.
Right.
It's probably better for my dog allergies, though. But there is that.
Well, yeah, and you're detecting the smell of farts allergies.
That is very true. I can only imagine you've been letting them go all this time, and I haven't.
Do you know what? I haven't farted once throughout this podcast.
Well, you just fucking keep them for whenever I come round your house.
I can't help it, man. You
fucking
bring it out in me.
Fucking dickhead. But yeah, anyway. That's cool. I'm guessing as well we're going to work on another pop quiz for some point. Are you up for doing that? Until,
because as I say, I'm taking on this work at the minute, which is taking me a minute. But I'm aiming to put out one of these pop quizzes every Friday whilst the lockdown runs.
Basically, keep an eye on the Facebook page, and you'll get some updates on when the next pop quiz will be, and you can join in with that one. And we don't know when we're going to be back exactly with the next proper episode. We'll try and do it, for next week, but shit gets in the way. But the next one we're going to be doing is Carter, the Unstoppable Sex Machine.
Oh, yeah, I don't think I'm free.
Well, I am so looking forward to how much you're not going to enjoy that album.
You never know. I might surprise you. I might really like it.
And that, mate, you surprised me with Jesus Jones. Maybe you're going to surprise me with Carter. We'll find out next time.
But you got to remember that I liked Jesus Jones at the time, whilst I absolutely fucking hated Carter. So, anyway, cool. Right. Maybe I've chilled on it though, I don't know. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We will see you again. We're going to try and keep our feed alive as much as we can. We're putting out the quizzes that we're doing as podcasts. Feel free to ignore them if that's not your thing. But anyway, take care of yourself and stay safe out there, people. Look after each other. Don't cough on anyone, and don't turn to cannibalism or incest.
Yet.
See
you later.
Bye.
Thank you for checking out this episode of Pop Collaborate and Listen. It was produced and edited by us, for which we can only apologise. We are on Twitter at PCL Podcast, on Instagram also at PCL Podcast, and Facebook.com/PCL Podcast. All of these, plus links to our various Spotify playlists, etc., are on our website, which is PCLpodcast.com. Please feel free to get in contact via any of the social media or on PCLmusicpodcast@gmail.com.